Again, it's not ideal conditions, but conditions enough for Fort Morgan to play yet another baseball game. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Fort Morgan Baseball on B106 and on B106.com. Live from Mountain View High School in Loveland, I am Pat O'Rourke as the Mustangs try to stop their 8-game losing streak against the Mountain View Mountain Lions. Obviously, the weather is not helping out things, but here it is clear right now. So it's definitely overcast, but in terms of there's no moisture or precipitation right now, and so they're going to try to start this game a little bit early to get this game out of the way before the weather hits. And the Mustangs will be hitting here in just a moment. You're listening to Fort Morgan Baseball on B106. No time for a pregame show. B&B Appliance sponsored pregame show. They're at 502 N10 downtown Fort Morgan. A place to shop for all of your appliance needs is B&B Appliance, a member of the Brand Source retail program. Mustangs being the visiting team, so obviously they will hit first. Leading off the game will be Sam Soto. He is the center fielder. Second baseman Scott Soto hits second. Bobby Williamson is the third-place batter. He is playing first base. They're hitting against Mountain View right-hander Derek Nieper. And we're about ready for the Ackley Building Center opening pitch, your one-stop center for products around your home, office, or yard. Ackley Building Center, 1402 Mill Street in Brush. The pitch is swung on and fouled back by Sam Soto. 0-1 the count. Told you the top three Fort Morgan hitters rest the lineup. Dane Underwood, the DH, and the cleanup spot. He's DHing for the pitcher, Justin Lee. Then it's right fielder Alex Meese, third baseman Oscar Valdez, catcher Brandon Fluke, shortstop Garrett Pape, and left fielder Taylor Reuter. The 0-1 is in the dirt to Soto. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mustangs coming off another tough defeat. They led 5-0 against Frederick after the opening inning on Tuesday, only to go down to defeat 13-12. Frederick breaking a 12-12 tie for running the 7th as the pitch is in the dirt again to Sam Soto. 2 balls and 1 strike. Opening Lions brought to you by Cargill Meat Solutions. They take as much pride in the community just as they do in the products they provide to the consumers of their beef products. Cargill Meat Solutions, part of the KSIR B106 Scholarship Program. 2-1 to Sam Soto. Swung on a chopper in the hole between short and third. Fielded by the shortstop Little. His throw to first is in time to get Soto by a step. Good strong throw by Kevin Little as he went to his right to field that ground ball and retire the Mustang center fielder. 1 gone in the first inning. It brings up Scott Soto. Scott Soto, right-handed hitting second baseman, 8 for 29 on the season, hitting .276. Mustangs have been able to hit the ball a little bit better the last couple of games after a really tough stretch, but still not enough to stop this losing streak, which is at 8 games. The pitch to Scott Soto is swung on and hit in the air, foul down the right side. It's 0-1 on the Mustangs' second baseman. Scott Soto was 2 for 4 with a couple of runs scored in the game against Frederick on Tuesday. He has moved up to second place in the lineup after beginning the season in the 9-hole. Hitting against right-hander Derek Nieper. We'll run down Mountain View defensively here in a moment. 0-1 on Scott Soto. Nieper from his wind-up delivers. And Soto swings and foul tips one into the glove of the catcher, Devin Heitman, and it's 0-2. Mountain View, Thomas Steinbrook is the catcher. Devin Heitman's the center fielder. Ben Netzel is in right, and the left fielder is Brandon Boyer. The 0-2 pitch to Scott Soto is in the dirt. Around the infield, Kyle Channels, the third baseman. Kevin Little, we told you, at short. Over at second is Logan Moore. Playing first base, Nick Miller. Behind the plate, Thomas Steinbrook, and on the mound, Derek Nieper. 1 out, nobody on. The 1-2 pitch to Soto was swung on and fouled off by the Mustangs second baseman. We're just underway in Loveland, starting this game early, trying to get the game in before the weather conditions really hit. Obviously, there was a lot of precipitation in the air. Fort Morgan, at the time I left, still a little bit right now, and really didn't start clearing up until on the drive up, until about Kersey. Ball and 2 strikes on Scott Soto. Here it comes, and he swings and hits 1 foul over towards the Mountain View dugout in the first base dot. It's still 1-2. Mustangs trying to score here early. Of course, they've got 5 in the first inning in the game against Frederick on Tuesday. A ball and 2 strikes still on Soto. Here it comes once again from Nieper, and Soto swings and fouls another one off. Good at bat here by the Mustangs second baseman. Soto, normally a pretty aggressive hitter. He drew his first walk of the season in the game against Frederick. Mustangs in that game drew 10 walks. Another 1-2 pitch to Soto. comes off speed, and the pitch is a little flare over towards second, comes in on a couple hops to throw to first, will not be in time. Soto beats it out. The second baseman, Logan Moore, did not really charge that ball to catch it. Instead, he wanted to wait it on a hop, on a little flare over towards second, and by the time he picked that ball up, because it bounced a couple of times before it got to him, Soto was speeding down the line, and he's able to get an infield single. Not a good play there by Moore. Probably should have charged it. He was kind of in between whether to try to catch it on the fly or wait for it to bounce. Because that ball was not hit real hard at all, it did not take much of a bounce towards Moore at second base. So here's Bobby Williamson, the left-handed hitting first baseman. Pickoff over to first, and Soto's back safely. 1 on and 1 out for the Mustangs in the top half of the first inning. Mountain View comes in with a record of 5-5. They are 3-3 in league play. Coming set is Derek Nieper. And he delivers. And Williamson takes a strike at the knees. Nieper with some very good numbers on the year. 3-2 record. A 2.72 ERA. He's allowed 14 runs in 18 innings, but only 7 of those runs earned. He has struck out 17 and walked just 4 in his 18 innings of work. Another pickoff throw to first, and Soto again back in safely, although this time with a head-first dive. Nieper looks in again for the sign. Takes a look back at Soto. Now he comes set. And the Mountain View right-hander waits, finally delivers, and Williamson swings and fouls it off down the left field side. A long run and unable to get there in time is Brandon Boyer as it bounces in foul ground. 0-2 on Bobby Williamson. Fort Morgan with 1 on and 1 out in the top half of the first inning. Umpires starting this game a little early, hoping this game moves quickly. We're at the third batter of the game right now. Williamson at the plate. Nieper is again ahead of another Fort Morgan hitter. Got ahead of Soto, but Soto eventually reached on an infield single. And Nieper now steps off and gets a look back at Soto. He's very concerned about the base runner at first. The wind is blowing. Wind blowing from right to left field. And the 0-2 pitch is swung on, and Williamson just barely gets a piece of it, fouls it off the end of the bat. He's still alive at 0-2. Mustang hitters here doing a pretty good job of fouling off some pitches with 2 strikes. Nieper again looks in. Pickoff throw to first, and again Soto's back safely. Nieper's got a pretty good move. Soto's not taking too big of a lead. Still 0-2 on Williamson. Here's the pitch, and it's taken high. There goes Soto. Here's a throw down to second, and it is in time waiting for Soto, and he is thrown out. Excellent throw by Thomas Steinbrook. Not much of a jump by Soto, and he's retired on the caught ceiling. Kevin Little making the catch. The throw is a little bit over towards the shortstop side of second base, but still plenty of time for Little to apply the tag. Soto out by a good margin. 1-2 now the count on Williamson, who swings and misses for strike 3, and just like that, the inning is over. No runs, a hit, but nobody left. There were no Mountain View errors at the end of a half an inning. It's Fort Morgan nothing. Mountain View's coming up. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106 and B106.com. Pat O'Rourke back in Loveland at Mountain View High School, where the Mountain Lions now hit in their half of the first inning. The Mustangs come up scoreless in the top half of the inning. Mountain View sends up the following lineup, again brought to you by Cargill Meat Solutions. Devin Heitman is the center fielder. Hitting second is Thomas Steinbrook. He's the catcher. First baseman Nick Miller in the third spot. Brandon Boyer is the left fielder hitting fourth as Justin Lee delivers, and his pitch is in there for a strike. Kyle Channel, the third baseman in the fifth spot. Then it's Kevin Little, the shortstop. Second baseman Logan Moore. Right fielder Ben Netzel. And the designated hitter Zach Custer. He's DHing for the pitcher Nieper. Here is Justin Lee's 0-1 pitch, and it's one. It's a sharp ground ball to the right side and a base hit in the right field as it's in the hole between first and second, and a single for Devin Heitman. So he singles on the second pitch he sees, and Thomas Steinbrook will now be the batter. Steinbrook comes into this game hitting .433. He's 13 for 30, and he leads this team in RBIs with 13. He has a couple of homers this year. Obviously, A lot of pop out of the second spot in the order for Mountain View. Justin Lee comes set, and he delivers home, and the pitch is taken outside. Mustangs offensively have Taylor Reuter in left. Sam Soto's the center fielder. Alex Neese plays right. Oscar Valdez at third base. Garrett Pape again at short. Scott Soto's the second baseman. Bobby Williamson at first. Behind the plate, Brandon Flug. And Justin Lee delivers a 1-0. The runner going, and it's swung on and fouled out of play on the right side, and it's 1-1. Good jump there by Heitman, but Steinbrook fouling off the offering from Lee. Justin Lee comes in with a 5.94 ERA. He's 1-2 this year. Pickoff throw over to first and back diving in safely as Heitman. Justin Lee in his 17 2/3 innings has allowed 22 hits, 20 runs, 15 of those runs earned. He has struggled with the walks. He's walked 18 and struck out 14. He's also hit 3 batters this year. And opponents are hitting .324 off of Lee. A ball and a strike on Steinbrook with 1 on and nobody out. The pitch shows bunt but takes breaking ball down and away. 2-1 now on the Mountain View catcher. And if you're just joining us, they started this game early. As Heitman leads off from first. Steinbrook awaits. Lee sets, delivers. There goes the runner again. Swung on a miss. Here's a throw down to second base on a hop, but offline over towards the shortstop side. An easy stolen base there for Devin Heitman. Mountain Lions have a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Mountain View comes into this game trying to stop a 3-game losing streak. Losses to Thompson Valley, Fossil Ridge, and Thomas Jefferson. Lee comes set before he delivers. Time is called by Steinbrook. The leading RBI hitter on this Mountain View team. Steinbrook steps into the right-handed batter's box. Lee comes set again. Now his 2-2 pitch. Taken for a call. Strike 3. Excellent pitch there by Lee. Fastball over the outside corner. It froze Steinbrook, and there's 1 gone in the inning. Good strikeout there by Lee with the runner at second base. Now let's see what he can do with Nick Miller, the left-handed hitting first baseman who hits third in this lineup. Lee comes set, takes a peek back at Heitman, delivers, and is in there for another strike. Miller this year hitting .433. Really good pop. The left-handed spot in the order. He awaits the offering from Lee, and the pitch is taken inside. Lee missing with the fastball, 1-1. Garrett Pape, the Mustang shortstop. Freshman trying to keep Devin Heitman close at second. Lee looks in for the sign from Flug. Comes set, and his 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball in there for a called strike over the inside corner. Justin Lee trying to work out of the leadoff single by Heitman. It's 1-2 on Miller. And the pitch swung on and fouled off by Miller. Fouled off over the Mustang dugout, located over on the third base side. Brandon Boyer, the Mountain View cleanup batter, is on deck. No score, bottom of the first inning. Runner at second, 1 out. The 1-2 pitch again, taken just a bit inside. Josh Langford wanting to call strike 3. Good pitch there by Lee, but rolled just a bit off the plate on the inside. So it's 2-2. Oscar Valdez, about even with the grass down at third. Lee delivers. Pitch swung on and lined over the right side, but foul down the first base line. And it's still 2-2 on Miller. Lee having to work here a little bit against a good part of the Mountain View order. Again, Heitman leads off from second. Lee sets. And another 2-2 pitch in the dirt. Good block there by Brandon Flug, the Mustang catcher. That one bounced a good 3 or 4 feet in front of home plate. The count now full on Miller. Next pitch is going to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Lee gets a sign from Flug. Here's the payoff. And it's swung on. It's a ground ball on the right side. Bobby Williamson fields. He's going to flip the Lee covering. He steps on the bag. On the play, Heitman goes over to third. He's there now with 2 outs. So Lee ultimately retires Miller. And the batter now is Brandon Boyer. Boyer hitting .350, 7 for 20. He leads his team in home runs with 3. He also has 12 RBIs this year. He's second on the squad. Lee delivers, and Boyer takes in the dirt, and it's another good stop by Flug. There is a lot of room behind home plate here, so any pitch, any wild pitch is going to get to the backstop is going to advance the runner. Any wild pitch or pass ball here would score Heitman from third. So 1-0. Swung on and hit pretty well down the right field side. Running over towards the line is Alex Meese. He's going to have to play it on a hop. And it's going to be an RBI single for Brandon Boyer. So Boyer goes the other way, and he drives in Heitman. He's chasing hard after that baseball, but could not get there in time to make a catch. Mountain View is on the scoreboard first. 1-0 Mountain Lions. Here's Kyle Channel, right-handed hitting third baseman. Lee sets, delivers, and the pitch is taken outside. When these teams met last year, they also played here at Mountain View, and it was an easy Mountain Lion win, 10-0. They won in 5 innings. So 1-0. Swan on a check swing grounder over towards second base. Bobbled by Scott Soto. He picks it up. He throws to first, and it's still in time to retire Channel. Just barely got him by a half a step, and the side is retired. Mountain View does score a run on 2 base hits. They leave one. There were no Mustang errors. At the end of 1 inning of play, it's Mountain View 1, Fort Morgan 0. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106. 1-0 Mountain View after 1 inning of play. Leading off the Mustangs in the second, Dane Underwood, their cleanup batter and DH. He's DHing for the pitcher, Justin Lee. Hitting against Derek Nieper, the Mountain View right-hander, and the Nieper's pitch is swung on and fouled back by Underwood and out of play. Underwood, a 3-run homer in the game against Frederick on Tuesday. He ended up with 4 RBIs in that game. He was 1 for 3 with a walk and a hit batsman. Underwood trying to break out early season slump as the pitch is in there for a strike. Underwood got his average to Mendoza line. He's now hitting 200, 5 for 25. He is tied for the team lead with 10 RBIs. And he leads the team with 11 runs scored. Behind the count, 0-2 to Nieper, though, and the pitch is taken just a bit low. Underwood will be followed by Alex Meese and Oscar Valdez, 4, 5, and 6 spots in the Mustang order. Nieper getting the sign from his catcher Steinbrook, working quickly, delivers the 1-2. And Underwood swings, hits a ground ball over towards short. Kevin Little fields cleanly, his throw to first in plenty of time, and there's one gone in the second. He'll bring Alex Meese to the plate, who also homered in the game against Frederick on Tuesday. Meese was 1 for 2 with a couple of walks and a sacrifice. 3 runs batted in that game. On the season, he's hitting .238. He's 5 for 21. He's got 6 RBIs in the year, so obviously half those RBIs coming on Tuesday. The right fielder awaits, and he takes high and away, ball 1. 1 out, nobody on, top half of the second inning. Mountain View leading Fort Morgan 1-0 on an RBI single by Brandon Boyer. So 1-0 to Meese, and that is taken just below the knees. 2 balls and no strikes. Fort Morgan scheduled to play games in each of the next 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Saturday. As the 2-0 to Meese, it's swung on a miss, can't catch up to the fastball from Nieper. It's 2-1. Mustangs supposed to play at Longmont tomorrow and at home against Berthoud on Saturday. Of course, again, that's if the weather is permitting. Weather is permitting right now to allow these 2 teams to play. The 2-1 is taken high. 3 balls and a strike. One out, nobody on for Meese and the Mustangs. From this windup, Nieper delivers a 3-1 pitch, and that is taken low, ball 4, and Meese gets the walk. Meese does have a pretty good eye at the plate. That is his 9th walk of the season, and this is the 11th game. His 9 walks lead the team. So he's at first base with 1 out, and up steps Oscar Valdez, who leads the team in hitting with a .321 average. He's 9 for 28. Nieper comes set at the letters, throws over to first base, and Meese is back safely. Mustangs don't have a whole lot of speed, but Meese does run well. Nieper is going to keep an eye on him. Remember when Scott Soto was aboard, Nieper often threw over to first. Another pickoff throw, and again, Meese is back in safe, so that time with a head-first dive. Much closer of a play, but Meese back nonetheless. Valdez still waiting to see a first pitch from Nieper. Nieper finally delivers, and the pitch is in there for a strike at the knees. So Valdez, 9 for 28, tied with the team lead with Underwood with 10 RBIs. Normally a pretty aggressive hitter, only a couple of walks this season for Valdez. Nieper takes a peek again over at Meese, throws over there again, and again, Meese is back safely. That's 3 times now Nieper has thrown over to first base. Mountain View did retire a Mustang in the first inning on the caught stealing. That was Scott Soto. Meese not running. The 0-1 is taken high. As mentioned before, the umpires like to get this game over quickly, in a hurry, before the weather really starts to hit. I'm sure they don't want to see too many throws over to first base. And now stepping off is Nieper. The game is not really moving quickly with Nieper right now. Only throwing a couple pitches this at-bat to Valdez. He comes set, and is 1-1. Valdez swings and misses. The runner is going. Here's a throw down to second, and Meese is out. It's another caught stealing. The Mustangs keep trying to run on Steinbrook, and he's making them pay. Applying the tag was the second baseman, Logan Moore. So there are now 2 outs and nobody on. That's the ball and 2 strikes on Valdez. Back to the windup. Nieper delivers. Valdez swings and fouls one off towards the Fort Morgan dugout. The Mustangs have tried to run a couple of times on Nieper and Steinbrook, and it has not worked at all. Either Scott Soto or Meese got a real good jump. And each time Steinbrook's delivered a very good throw. The second throw better than the first as as Valdez takes high. Mountain View leading 1-0 thanks to an RBI single in the first inning from Brandon Boyer. We're now in the top half of the second. At 2-2. Valdez takes what is a called strike 3. It looked like it was going to be low, but it's a called strike 3. And Valdez and the Mustangs are done in the second. No runs, no hits, nobody left. There were no Mountain View errors. Go to the bottom of the second inning. It's Mountain View 1, Fort Morgan nothing. You're listening to Fort Morgan Baseball on B106. Pat O'Rourke back at Mountain View where the Mountain Lions lead the Mustangs 1-0 going to the bottom half of the second inning. Stubbs Gas and Oils at I-76 and Highway 39 in Wiggins. They're open 7 days a week. They have hunting licenses, Western Union, food, gas. They have it all at Stubbs Gas and Oil. Kevin Little, Logan Moore, and Ben Netzel, the 6, 7, 8 batters for Mountain View in the second inning against Fort Morgan right-hander Justin Lee, who delivers to Kevin Little. And the first pitch is taken down and in, ball 1. Mountain View scoring a run on a couple of hits in the first inning. Got a single by Devin Heitman, the leadoff inning. He stole second. And scored on a 2-out hit from Brandon Boyer. The pitch is swung on and chopped over towards second. A perfect pop for Scott Soto. He'll throw to first to retire Kevin Little in plenty of time. And there's one gone here in the second. 1 out for Logan Moore. Moore hitting .300 this year. He's 9 for 30. Left-handed hitting second baseman for Mountain View. Brandon Flug. Just something with his equipment, might have been his glove. He's ready to go, and we're ready to resume action. The first pitch to Moore is taken up and away, ball one. Mustangs have lost 8 in a row. And the last couple of losses have been very winnable games. The 1-0 to Moore in there for a strike. Mustangs, as a matter of fact, have had a lead in each of the last 3 games they've played. As the pitch to Moore is swung on. It's a ground ball over towards Logan Pape at short. He goes to his right to field. His strong throw to first is in time. Good play there by Pape for the second out of the inning. Freshman looking pretty smooth at short. That's the strongest arm on this team, and he showed it off there. So there are 2 outs and nobody on for another left-handed batter, Ben Netzel. Right-handed lead delivers to Netzel. And that's swung on. That's hit over towards second base. Soto to his right field. His throw to first in time. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Justin Lee as he retires Mountain View on ground balls. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go to the third. 1-0 Mountain Lions. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106. They wanted to get this game in quickly, and the first 2 innings have gone by rather quickly. It's 1-0 Mountain View going to the top half of the third. Brandon Flug leads off for the Mustangs in the third. He'll be followed by Garrett Pape and Taylor Reuter. Right-handed hitting Flug awaits, and he swings, hits a ground ball off his foot. It goes towards third, but it hit Flug in the foot while he was in the batter's box, so that's a foul ball. 0-1 on the Mustang catcher. He tries to walk it off. Obviously never a good feeling. Foul one off yourself. Flug on the season hitting .300. He's 9 for 30. Got 6 RBIs, 7 runs scored this year. Flug displayed some power last year, but no home runs this season. The pitch, and Flug swings, and it looks like he fouled another one off his foot. 2 in a row. Rare enough to see one of those, but now 2 pitches in a row, Flug has fouled one off himself. He was 2 for 4 in the game against Frederick on Tuesday. 0-2 as Derek Nieper, the Mountain View right-hander, delivers, and Flug swings and misses for strike 3. And Nieper has now struck out 3. He's faced the minimum to this point, and now he'll face Garrett Pape, right-handed hitting freshman shortstop. Pape 0 for 4 at the plate against Frederick. He's 2 for 12 on the season. Pape getting another start. This is his 5th consecutive start, his 4th consecutive start at shortstop. And the pitch is taken high. Josh Langford mentioned during his interview today on 1010 Preps and More, and he's going to go with young players, like younger players, more and more as the season goes on, as the pitch is taken high. The Mustangs' chances of the postseason looking more and more unlikely. For Morgan 0-6 in league play. Only team without a win in the league. As Pape awaits the 2-0, and he takes a strike over the outside corner. Pape, not just one of those young players, though, that's getting a chance to play because the Mustangs are losing, and he's earned his spot in this lineup. He awaits the 2-1, and he takes it low. Morgan C team having a much different type of season. They're undefeated right now. Very good freshman class that Pape is a part of, although Pape's the one playing varsity at 3-1, and he takes high. It goes to the backstop. He tosses the bat away, hustles his way down to first base. And the Mustangs have a base runner here in the third. And again, it comes with 1 out. They had a 1-out base runner in the first on a Scott Soto infield single, and a 1-out base runner in the second on a walked Alex Neese. And each of those 2 times, those runners were retired on caught stealing. Garrett Pape's aboard of 1 on and 1 out, and here's Taylor Reuter. Pickoff throw to first, and Pape is back safely. Nieper's got a good pickoff move, so the Mustang base runners have to be alert. Down at first. Bruder did not get a chance to hit in the game against Frederick. He was DH for, hitting ninth in the lineup today. And another pickoff throw to first, and again Paves back safely. Reuter on the season hitting .222. He is 4 for 18. 1 on and 1 out. Top of the third inning. Mountain View leading Fort Morgan 1-0. The pitch to Reuter. Swung on and skied in the air out towards left. Going back a few steps under it in front of the scoreboard out there, able to make the catch is Brandon Boyer for the second out. And Pape retreats back to first. Reuter didn't hit that ball didn't hit that too badly against Nieper, but a fly out to left nonetheless. So here is Sam Soto, Mustang leadoff batter, grounded out to short his first time up. 1 on and 2 outs now. Nieper comes set and he delivers, and Soto swings and misses on the off-speed pitch way out in front. Soto off balance on that offering. On the season, Soto hitting .250, 6 for 24. Pickoff throw to first, and Paves again back in safely. When the Mustangs get a base runner, Nieper makes sure to throw over to first base at least 3 times. 0-1 the count. Here it comes to Soto, and that is taken at the knees for a strike. Good fastball offering from Nieper after he came with the changeup on the first pitch. So he jumps ahead of Soto, 0-2. Again, he looks in for the sign from Thomas Steinbrook. Now he takes a set position at the letters, and he delivers the 0-2, and it is a good breaking ball and a call. Strike 3. Soto and the Mustangs are done in the third. No runs, no hits, a runner left. At the end of 2.5 innings, it's still 1-0 Mountain View. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106. 1-0 Mountain View leads it going to the bottom half of the third inning. Zach Custer, Devin Heitman, and Thomas Steinbrook, the 9-1-2 batters for the Mountain Lions. Custer, a DH, a whole lot of playing time this year, just 1 for 5 on the season. As Justin Lee, the Fort Morgan right-hander, delivers in the dirt. Bounces in front of home plate by a good 5 feet or so and goes to the backstop. Justin Lee had a very good second inning, retiring all 3 hitters he faced on ground balls. He has retired 4 in a row. And with the way Derek Nieper is pitching for Mountain View, probably has to be on top of his game today to give the Mustangs a chance to win. So 1-0 to Custer. Breaking ball misses off the outside, 2-0. Don't want to walk the ninth place batter for obvious reasons. As Lee looks in. From his windup, delivers a 2-0, and it's swung on and missed. Custer out in front. Lee coming off speed there on 2-0. Lee has struggled with the walks. He has walked on average, more than the batter an inning. The 2-1 to Custer, and that is taken for a call, strike 2. Looked like it might have been low, but Oscar Valdez was called out on strikes in the second inning on a pitch around the same area. So the 2-2 to Custer, and that's very high. Count now full on the Mountain View DH. Custer, Heitman, and Steinbrook for the Mountain Lions in the third. Lee from his windup, the payoff pitch in the dirt, ball 4. So the first walk of the game issued by Justin Lee, and it comes to the ninth place batter. See if Lee can work out of it. In the first inning, Mountain View was able to get the leadoff batter aboard, and they were able to cash it in for the game's only run. The guy who scored that run, Devin Heitman, at the plate now. He got a base hit to right field his first time up. Lee comes set and delivers to Heitman, and that is taken for a strike over the outside corner. So Lee jumps out in front of the Mountain View center fielder. And the pitch is bunted at, but bunted foul. The runner was going from first, was Custer, but Heitman bunts it foul, and it's 0-2. Mountain View trying to stop a losing streak of their own. Not quite the 8-game losing streak the Mustangs have, but Mountain View has lost 3 in a row coming in this one. They're 5-5 on the season. Mustangs 2-8. Lee comes set, and his 0-2 pitch. This is high. Fort Morgan has had leads in their last 4 games during this losing streak. Makes it particularly more frustrating. Field umpire making sure the Mountain View on deck hitter Thomas Steinbrook gets over closer towards the Mountain View dugout. He was standing right in front of me as the pitch is delivered just a bit inside. 2-2. I'm located right over behind home plate, but more towards the first base side, kind of even with the third base line. 2-2 the count on Heitman. Lee comes set, runner leads from first. Nobody out, there he goes. The pitch is swung on and popped up. Right side, foul ground. Williamson, the first baseman, running over. He falls down, and he can't make the catch. Williamson kind of stumbling as he tried to go after that baseball. Never really had his feet set, and he tried to make the catch as he was falling down, but could not come up with it. So new life for Devin Heitman. Still 1 on and nobody out. Mountain View leading 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Lee comes set. Another 2-2 pitch, and it's swung on and fouled back. Thomas Steinbrook is on deck. Mountain View had an easy time with Fort Morgan when the Mustangs came here last year. It was a very quick game then. Justin Lee delivers, runner going again. The pitch is low, and that should be ball 4. They throw down to first base. Actually, pardon, that's actually ball 3. I checked that, but it's a stolen base for Custer. That was the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Now it's 3-2 on Heitman. Mountain View's got a runner on second, nobody out. Heitman awaits, and he takes a called strike 3. Justin Lee gets his second strikeout of the game. Each of the strikeouts have come with a runner at second and nobody out. Thomas Steinbrook was that other strikeout victim back in the first inning. He went down looking. Right-handed hitting catcher for Mountain View. Chokes up on the bat a little bit. The pitch is in the dirt. There goes the runner to third. Here's Brandon Fluke's throw. It will not be in time, and it gets through Oscar Valdez a little bit, but not far enough for Custer to try to come home from third. So that ball did not get very far away from Fluke. Bounced to his right, but excellent base running by Custer. He got a good secondary lead and did not hesitate at all to take off for third. He's now at third with 1 out. That's a big base. The 1-0 is bunted at but missed by Steinbrook. And it's a ball and a strike. 1-0 Mountain View, bottom of the third inning. Mustangs playing the infield into corners. There's a swing, a fly ball hit down the line towards right. Coming on is Meese. He makes the catch. The runner tags from third. Acts like he might run, but Meese, he does not. He retreats back to third instead. Meese kind of runs it back in towards the infield, and it's a nice shallow fly out for Justin Lee, the Fort Morgan pitcher of Thomas Steinbrook. 2 outs. The runner still at third. And here's Nick Miller. He grounded out to first base his first time up. Deadly hitter in the Mountain View lineup, hitting third in the lineup. Left-handed bat. Awaits, and he takes a strike over the inside corner. Big spot in this game. It's only the bottom of the third inning, but Mountain View leads 1-0, and runs appear to be at a premium. We'll see if Lee can get Miller. The pitch swung on and popped up foul down the left field side. That's going to get out of play. And it's quickly 0-2 on Miller. Custer led off this inning with a walk. He stole second. Heitman struck out. Then he went to third on a wild pitch. Then Steinbrook flied out to shallow right. 0-2 now on Miller. Lee delivers, and the pitch is swung on and fouled off again down the left side. And Lee may be guilty there of leaving that one too much out over the plate on 0-2. Not want to get burned here on an 0-2 pitch. Lee comes set. Luke sets up over the outer half. The pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the inning is over. Justin Lee works out of a runner at third. 1-out jam. No runs, no hits. There was a runner left at third, and there were no Fort Morgan errors. We head to the fourth. 1-0 Mountain View. This is Mustang Baseball on B106. It may be snowing in Fort Morgan, but in Loveland, it's just very overcast right now as we head to the top half of the fourth inning. Mountain View leading Fort Morgan 1-0. Due up for the Mustangs, Scott Soto, Bobby Williamson, and Dane Underwood. 2, 3, 4 hitters in the Fort Morgan lineup. Hitting against Mountain View right-hander Derek Nieper. And Nieper's first pitch to Scott Soto was taken for a strike. Soto reached on an infield single his first time up. That's the Mustangs' lone hit. Not a hard hit ball by any means. A little bit of a gift for Soto and the Mustangs at the time as the pitch is taken outside. Started this game a little early, tried to get it in before precipitation hits, and this game has moved along to this point. Each pitcher has thrown 45 pitches through 3 innings. There's a chopper over the middle, over towards second, fielded cleanly by Moore. His throw to first is in time, and Scott Soto's retired to lead off the fourth. Bobby Williamson is now the batter. Williamson struck out his first time up, 1 of 4 Nieper strikeouts. Williamson on the season came in with a .250 batting average. He's now 5 for 21. Left-handed batter facing the right-handed Nieper, who from his windup delivers, and there's a swing, a ground ball over on the left side. Trying to backhand it, but unable to come up with it is Little, and reaching will be Williamson. Little is going to try to backhand that ball. He could not come up with it cleanly. So Williamson is aboard on the air. Wasn't going to be an easy play, but a play that should have been made nonetheless by Little. So again, the Mustangs, for the 4th consecutive inning, have a 1-out base runner. Dane Underwood is now the batter. He grounded out to short his first time. Nieper comes set, and the pitch to Underwood, taken for a strike at the knees. Underwood looking down to Josh Langford down at third. Mustangs had struggles at the plate this year, although they have scored 19 runs in their last 2 games. The 0-1, and Underwood swings, and he lines one up the middle. That's going to be a base hit in the center field. Williamson moves up to second. He'll stop there. Getting to it quickly in center was Devin Heitman. The Mustangs have him at first and second with 1 out. That's Fort Morgan's first solid hit of this game, their second hit overall. So 2 on and 1 out. The Mustangs have their best threat thus far, and here is Alex Meese. Meese walked his first time up. 1-0 Mountain View, top of the 4th inning. Meese, right-handed batter. Nieper comes set, and he delivers, and the pitch is swung on and missed. He blows the fastball by Meese. Fort Morgan's Justin Lee keeping the Mustangs in the game at this point. He's pitched very well for Fort Morgan, allowing just a couple of hits of his own. Nieper with the 0-1, and that is taken down and in. State Farm Insurance agents Kelly Seabranson and Greg Mullen, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Like Greg Mullen and Brush and Kelly Seabranson, Fort Morgan work with you to get the discounts you desire and the coverage you need. A ball and a strike on Meese. And the pitch taken in the dirt. Good block by the catcher, Steinbrook. You look at each of these catchers, 2 of the better catchers in the conference. Maybe even the 2 best. 2-1 the count now on Meese. Steinbrook awaits the pitch, the catcher from his thrower Nieper, and Nieper's fastball is swung on and missed again by Meese. It's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on and 1 out in the top of the 4th inning. Williamson's at second, Underwood at first. Not a whole lot of speed on the base pass. 2-2. Swung on and ground ball over on the right side. That's going to be a base hit into right field. Charging again to his Netzel. They're waving Williamson home. Here is the throw. It's in plenty of time, and he is out at the plate. And off the second goes Meese. The throw down there, and he slides in just barely ahead of the throw as Underwood goes over to third on the play. So Netzel throws out Williamson at the plate. We mentioned just before that pitch, not a whole lot of speed on the bases for the Mustangs. Josh Langford sending Williamson home, trying to take a chance here with his team down 1-0, and Williamson was gunned out at the plate. Fort Morgan does have runners at second and third, and the batter now is Oscar Valdez. Time for the team lead in RBIs. The Mustangs would love to get a big RBI hit here from Valdez. It was a gutsy call by Meese to try to get down to second on that play. He was nearly thrown out by Steinbrook. So second and third, 2 outs. The pitch to Valdez is in the dirt, and it's another good block by Steinbrook. Valdez struck out looking his first time up. Mustangs had an opportunity to tie there. Excellent play by Netzel and right. 1-0 the count on Valdez. The pitch. Taken down and in. Right now, the Mustangs do have good speed at second base and Meese. If Valdez can come up with a base hit to the outfield, it very well could give the Mustangs the lead. Nieper with the 2-0 offering. And Valdez swings, and he belts one deep down the left field side. This one is going to be up against the fence. Into score Underwood. Into score Meese. Valdez pulling his hamstring as he cruises into second has given the Fort Morgan Mustangs a 2-1 lead. But Valdez pulling up lame. He was hopping on his way into second base there. And he might have to come out of this game. Valdez sitting dead red on 2-0, and he belted that fastball down the left field side. That's the third consecutive hit for Fort Morgan. Valdez now with 12 RBIs on the season. Josh Langford and Steve Hale right now attending to him. And he's going to have to come out of this game. Casey Scott is going to run for him. So Scott will run for Valdez. Big hit there by Oscar Valdez. Fort Morgan has a 2-1 lead, so they have a lead now for the fifth consecutive game. The last 4 games haven't worked out when the Mustangs have had a lead at one time or another. Brandon Flug will be the batter. He struck out his first time up against Nieper. Valdez still grabbing his hamstring. Hamstring on his left leg. And it looked like he pulled it as he was turning around first base. He was kind of hopping on one leg as he went into second. So Brandon Flug, the batter. 2 outs. Scott at second base. Nieper comes set, delivers, and misses in the dirt, and it's another good block by Steinbrook. Steinbrook getting in front of everything. That's at least 3 blocks of a pitch in the dirt in this inning. Nieper not looking as dominant as he did in the first 3 innings. He's allowed 3 consecutive base hits. So 1-0. Swing, there's a hard base hit down the left field side. This is going to score Casey Scott. He rounds third, heads home. On his way to second is Flug. Here's the throw. He slides in, and he is out at second base. The Mustangs do get the run as Casey Scott crosses home plate before Flug was thrown out. The Mustangs did get 2 runners thrown out in the inning on the base pass, but they get 3 runs on 4 hits. They leave nobody. There was 1 Mountain View error. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's Fort Morgan 3, Mountain View 1. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106. We're halfway through in Loveland, going to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Fort Morgan leading the Mountain Lions by a score of 3-1. Due up for Mountain View, Brandon Boyer, Kyle Channel, and Kevin Little. 4, 5, 6 batters for Mountain View against Justin Lee, who delivers a first pitch strike over the outside corner. It's 0-1. Boyer drove in Mountain View's only run, an RBI single to right field his first time up. The 0-1 from Lee, taken outside. Mustangs scoring all three of their runs in the top half of this fourth inning. To get a couple runners thrown out in the base pass, Bobby Williamson was thrown out at home. Flug was thrown out at second to end the inning as the 0-1 is swung on and belted down the left field side, but foul. The ball was crushed off the bat of Boyer, but out in front of it too much. Both these teams trying to snap a losing streak. Mustangs have lost 8 in a row. Mountain View's dropped 3 in a row. 1-2 the count on Boyer. Lee from his windup delivers. And the pitch is taken down and away. Lee has pitched well up to this point. He's retired 7 of the last 8 hitters he's faced. Trying to get the leadoff man here in the fourth. The 2-2. Off-speed pitch misses upstairs from Lee. Lee going on his fastball a little bit more this outing than we've seen him in previous outings. A payoff pitch coming to Boyer. And that's swung on and hit down the right field side pretty well, but Meese back a few steps over towards the line. He'll make the catch, and there's one gone. 1 out for Kyle Channel. Now granted out to second base his first time up. Channel, a guy who ended last year's game between these two teams with a home run to right field. The right-handed batter as Lee delivers, and it is in there for a strike. It was a much nicer day last year when these teams met on a Saturday morning. At least it was very nice for the Mountain Lions. They won 10-0 in 5 innings. The 0-1 is in there for another strike. Channel hitting his home run in the bottom of the 5th to end that game. Mountain View was already leading 9-0 at that time. 0-2 on the Mountain View's third baseman. The pitch taken just a bit off the outside. Luke setting up outside there. On 0-2, not a bad 0-2 pitch from Lee. Want to throw it off the plate. Don't want to get too much to the plate on 0-2 as the pitch is taken low. Justin Lee in this game has thrown 55 pitches. 1 out in the fourth. Mustangs leading 3-1. The 2-2 to Channel. Swung on and missed. Got him with a changeup, and Channel is down on strikes. Another strikeout for Justin Lee. He has now struck out 4. 2 outs in the inning, and here is Kevin Little. He grounded out to second his first time up. Lee delivers. Little shows bunt and bunts it to the backstop. Looks like he wanted to pull it back, but instead he fouled it off. 0-1 on Little. 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth inning. Fort Morgan leading 3-1. 0-1 the count on Kevin Little. Justin Lee from his windup delivers again. Little showing bunt again, and he takes it for a called strike 2 over the outside corner. Oscar Valdez back into the game at third base. He's having to charge a little bit. He smiles as he looks over at Josh Langford in the Fort Morgan dugout. As the pitch comes in, and it hits Kevin Little. Justin Lee had pretty good control today, but he hits Little. The 4th time Lee has hit a batter this year. Before that hit batsman, Lee had retired 9 of the last 10 Mountain Lions he's faced. So 1 on and 2 out for Logan Moore, who grounded out to short his first time, and the pitch is bunted at by Moore, but bunted foul. Obviously, they want to try to test Oscar Valdez at third. He pulled up lame in the top half of this inning because of a hamstring injury. And they want to see just how limber he is right now. He is playing in on the grass with Little at first and 2 outs. Justin Lee looking in for the sign from Flug. Flug looking over towards the Fort Morgan dugout. Gets the sign from Langford. He relays it to Lee. The runner goes. The pitch is low. Here's the throw down to second base. It's not in time. A stolen base for Kevin Little. Mountain View has now stolen 3 bases against Lee and Fluke today. A ball and a strike on Moore. Lee comes set. And the pitch. Breaking ball misses down. Garrett Pape, Fort Morgan shortstop, trying to keep Little close at second. Justin Lee trying to keep this a 2-run game. The 2-1 in the dirt. On deck is Ben Netzel. Lee retired the first 2 batters. Boyer on a fly ball to right. Channel on a strikeout. Now he's in a little bit of trouble with the runner at second and a 3-1 count on Moore. Lee delivers. Taken just a bit low, ball 4. The second walk issued by Lee. A hit batsman and a walk have put runners at first and second. You got the potential tying run at first, and the go-ahead run at the plate in the place of Netzel. Netzel, a left-handed batter, grounded out to second his first time up. Lee comes set, and he delivers. And this pitch is bunted at, but bunted foul again. The third consecutive Mountain View hitter that has tried to bunt. But the Mountain Lions unable to get one in play, although it hasn't worked out too badly. The last 2 batters have reached anyway. 0-1 coming to Netzel, and he takes it inside. Nearly hit him. Netzel wasn't going to make much of an effort to get out of the way. Trying to get on base here and extend this inning. Mountain View now trailing Fort Morgan 3-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Mustangs scoring all 3 of the runs in the top half of this inning. 1-1. Swung on and popped up. Foul ground. First base side. A long run for both Meese and Williamson. Meese slides and he makes the catch. Excellent sliding catch by Meese. And foul ground down the right field side. And the inning is over. Nice play there by Alex Meese. In the inning, no runs, no hits. There are 2 runners left. We go to the 5th. The Mustangs lead 3-1. You're listening to Fort Morgan Baseball on B106. Fort Morgan leads it 3-1, going to the top half of the 5th inning. 8-9-1 batters for the Mustangs. Garrett Pape, Taylor Reuter, and Sam Soto. Parts Smart Car Quest. For those hard-to-find parts, see the Parts Pros. Parts Smart Car Quest, 1025 East Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. And Automotive Innovations take care of all your preventive maintenance needs and much more at Automotive Innovations. Garrett Pape steps in. The first pitch to Pape is taken for a strike. Pape walked his first time up. Mountain View took the 1-0 lead in this game in the first inning. It stayed 1-0 until the 4th when Fort Morgan scored 3 times. Derek Nieper, the Mountain View right-hander from the start, delivers, and Pape swings, hits one down the right side, foul ground, and it's going to be well without the reach of the Mountain View first baseman, Nick Miller. And it's 0-2 on Garrett Pape. Snow may be coming down in Fort Morgan, but the weather here in Loveland is just overcast right now. No precipitation. 0-2 on Pape. Here it comes, and that is taken outside. Pape trying to start something here in the 5th. Mustangs hit the ball pretty well against Nieper in the 4th inning. Scored those 3 runs on 4 hits. All were well-struck balls, the 1-2, and Pape takes high. Mustangs with 3 runs on 5 hits and no errors. Mountain View 1 run on 2 hits. They have 1 error. The pitch. Pape takes it in the dirt. So the freshman was down 0-2. Now the count is full. Derek Nieper wanting to work quickly. Delivers the payoff pitch. And Pape swings, and he lines one into right field for a base hit. Good piece of hitting there by the freshman Pape. Behind 0-2 in the count. Works the count full and gets the single to right as he goes the other way. He let Nieper provide a lot of the power there. And Pape went with the pitch. So a runner on first and nobody out, and let's see if Taylor Reuter is sacrificing. Ritter does not have a sacrifice this season. Nieper comes set, and he throws over to first base. We've mentioned before, Nieper likes to throw over to first base whenever there's a base runner over there. Usually throws about 3 times or so. The pitch home. Ritter does show bunt, but he bunts it to the backstop. Ritter flied out to left his first time up. Mustangs leading 3-1 in the top of the 5th. Game started early. They're trying to get it in before the weather hits. Josh Langford going through a series of signs down at third. Taylor Ritter back in the right-handed batter's box. Behind the count, 0-1. Another pickoff throw, and again, Pape is back in safely. Not taking too big of a lead over there. Lead is just a couple of steps for Pape. Nieper with the 0-1. Showing bunt again. It's Ritter, and he lays down an excellent bunt down the third base side. Only play is going to be at first. The throw there is in the dirt, but scooped out nicely over at first by Nick Miller. And on the play, Pape moves up to second. An excellent bunt by Taylor Ritter, and he's going to get a hand pound from Josh Langford at third. Play goes 5-3 on the sacrifice, the first sacrifice of the year for Taylor Ritter. And the entire Mustang team giving a high five to Taylor Ritter. Got to do the little things if you're going to stop a losing streak. Mustangs trying to stop a losing streak today. They've got Sam Soto at the plate for runner on second and 1 out. Soto is 0 for 2. The pitch is swung on a miss, and the pitch in the dirt gets away from the catcher Steinbrook, but Pape not trying to advance from second. Ball did not get too far away from Steinbrook. Soto has grounded out to short, and he has struck out looking. Nieper has struck out 4 today. Looks in a long time for the sign from Steinbrook. And is 0-1. It's swung on a miss, another pitch in the dirt. It goes to the backstop, and Pape now will go over to third. That's the first pitch we've seen get through Steinbrook today. Normally a wall behind home plate. He's blocked everything. That one just he could not block, so the wild pitch advances Pape over to third. Soto has swung and missed, however, at 2 pitches that did not make it to home plate. Behind the count, 0-2. Mountain View has to play the infield in. Nieper comes set, and he delivers, and it's low. On deck is Scott Soto. Fort Morgan leading 3-1. Trying to get home another run here in the 5th. Nieper with the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Steinbrook cannot hold on to it, but he is going to throw down to first to retire Soto, and Pape holds at third. Second time Soto has struck out today. That's a big strikeout for Nieper, because he keeps Pape at third, and for right now keeps it a 2-run game. Here is Scott Soto. He's got an infield single. He's also grounded out to second. 8 for 31 on the year is Scott Soto. He gets 9 for 31 on the year for Soto as Nieper comes set. The pitch, and it is taken in, or no, ruled a strike. Well, it's 0-1 on Soto. Pitch looked like it might have been a little in. Pape down from third. The 0-1. Soto takes it in the dirt, and it's another excellent job by Steinbrook to keep it in front of him. Actually scooped that one into the glove. Mountain View will have their 9 1-2 hitters due up in the bottom half of this inning. The 1-1. Soto swings a ground ball over towards third. To his left, Channel Fields has thrown to first in plenty of time. The inning is over. Nieper works out of a runner at third, 1-out jam. No runs, a hit, a runner left. There were no Mountain View errors. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's Fort Morgan 3, Mountain View 1. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106. 3-1 Mustangs going to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Due up for Mountain View, Zach Custer, Devin Heitman, and Thomas Steinbrook. The 9-1-2 batters in the Mountain Line lineup. They'll be hitting against Justin Lee. Equitable Savings and Loan, Northeastern Colorado's hometown savings and loan, locations in Fort Morgan and Brush. Equitable Savings and Loan. Lee from his windup delivers to Custer, and the pitch is taken inside. Lee walked Custer, leading off the third inning. Eventually, Custer was stranded at third. The 1-0, and that is taken just a bit low. 2-0 now on Custer. One did not miss by much. Lee stomping on the mound right now, trying to pat down some dirt. The 2-0 to Custer, and that's in the dirt. He's in danger of losing Custer once again. Cardinal rule not to walk the ninth-place batter. Lee in danger of breaking that rule twice. The 2-0, or 3-0, is taken for a strike right down the middle. Lee's allowed a run on only 2 hits today. Here is his 3-1 to Custer, and that's taken for a called strike 2 at the knees. The only 2 hits Mountain View has came back in the first inning. We're now in the 5th. The payoff pitch, and that's very high, ball 4, and Custer again gets the walk. The 3rd walk issued by Lee. He's been fortunate that the first 2 walks have not come around to score. But those leadoff walks and then usually come back to bite you. We'll see if Lee can work out of it here in the 5th. He faces Devin Heitman. Heitman is 1 for 2, a single, a run scored. He struck out looking his last time up, and he takes outside. Lee has thrown 74 pitches today. His counterpart, Derek Nieper, has thrown 76. Pickoff throw over to first, and back diving in safely is Custer. Mountain View took the 1-0 lead in the first inning. It held up until the 4th, and the Mustangs scored 3 times as Lee throws over to first base again. We're now in the bottom of the 5th. Another pickoff throw by Lee. It's 3 times in a row he's thrown over to first base. This time, Custer was back standing up. Last 2 throws by Lee come without Custer even taking much of a lead. The pitch comes in, and it hits Heitman. And it's a bad start to the 5th inning for Justin Lee and the Mustangs. The walk and now the hit batsman. In the 4th, Lee hit a batter and walked a batter, but that came after there were already 2 outs. This walk and hit batsman come with nobody out, and Thomas Steinbrook is the batter. Steinbrook has struck out looking, and he has flied out to shallow right. The big pop out to right is last time up. It was with Custer at third, and Custer ended up being stranded at third base in that inning. So 2 on and nobody out. Justin Lee sets the letters. He delivers. Steinbrook shows bunt, but takes low. 1-0 on the Mountain View catcher. Garrett Pape trying to keep Custer close at second. Here's the 1-0. That is taken down and in for ball 2. Now Steinbrook has a really good count to hit in. He's got a good hitter behind him in this lineup also with Nick Miller on deck. A lot of pressure on Justin Lee to throw one over the plate. And he steps off and throws to second, and Pape catches. The ball is well offline at second. Pape had to track it down over on the second base side. 2-0 on Steinbrook. Custer at second, Heitman at first. Lee delivers, and it's bunted at, but bunted foul. Steinbrook, even though he had in the count 2-0, called upon the bunt, but unable to get in fair territory. We've seen Mountain View hitters struggle to bunt the ball in fair ground today. 2-1 now on Steinbrook. Lee offers, and the pitch is taken low. They'll throw down to second base, and they got the runner hung up. Pape runs him back towards third, throws a little bit early. Now they throw it back to Pape. Pape running him back to third, gets it to Justin Lee. The pitcher runs him down and tags him out. On the play, Heitman does move up to second, but the Mustangs do retire Custer. And I don't know what Custer was doing there. He was too far off of second on that bunt. When Flug threw down to second, he was frozen between second and third. The Mustangs didn't execute that rundown perfectly by any means. Both Pape and the current third baseman for the Mustangs, Casey Scott, threw the ball a little bit too early. But they were able to get Heitman nonetheless. So runner on second, one out. The pitch is outside, and it should be ball four on Steinbrook, and he is going to get down to first. It should be ball four, and he will go down to first base. So 2 on and 1 out. And Josh Langford is going to call for time, and he's going to head out to the pitcher's mound. This break in the action brought to you by Walmart, your one-stop shopping center, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's Walmart on North Fargo Road in Fort Morgan. Immeyer Phillips Insurance, locally in Fort Morgan and Brush, offers home, health, auto, business, workers' compensation, and farm insurance at Immeyer Phillips. And Ebenezer Lutheran Care, homemaking, and lifeline available in your home, as well as a variety of care options available on their beautiful wooded campus in Brush at Lutheran Care Center, 122 Hospital Road. It's 3-1 Mustangs. Bottom half of the fifth inning. Mountain View has 2 on and 1 out. And the meeting on the mound is broken up. I mentioned Casey Scott playing third base. Actually, Taylor Reuter at third base. It was Reuter and Pape who executed that rundown before Lee eventually was the one who applied the tag. So here is Nick Miller, leading RBI man for Mountain View on the season. He has grounded out to first, and he has struck out. The pitch to him, taken low. Justin Lee had to work out of a 2-on jam in the fourth. Now having to work out of another two base runner jam here in the fifth. The pitch is in the dirt. Good backhanded scoop out of the dirt by Flug, but now it's 2-0 on Miller. Fort Morgan and Mountain View both trying to stop a losing streak today. They're both trying to get this game in before any moisture hits. Right now, just overcast in Loveland. The 2-0. Breaking ball off speed pitch is fouled back. 2-1 now on Miller. Miller, you could tell, had to wait on that one to get to home plate. Heitman at second, Steinbrook at first. The 2-1 to Miller is high. Mountain View does not have a hit since the first inning, but another pitch outside the strike zone. They're going to have the bases loaded. Lee comes set. Here's the 3-1. Swan on a ground ball over on the right side towards second. Soto flips to second, and Lee and Pape can't make the catch, and everybody's going to be safe. I'm not sure if it would have been in time anyway. Soto did not pick that ball up really cleanly off the ground, and then he did not give a good flip to Pape at second. Still a ball Pape should have been caught, and it would have been a close play, whether they would have got Steinbrook or not. So they're loaded up with 1 out for Brandon Boyer, and the pitch to Boyer is taken high. Boyer is single to right, and he has flied out to right. He's the cleanup batter in the Mountain View lineup. Obviously up there in the big RBI spot here with his team down 3-1. The 1-0 in there for a strike over the outside corner. Saints playing the infield back, hoping for a double play here. Looks like they might have got a double play ball there, but could not get an out. The pitch, and that one is ruled just a bit outside. Not a friendly call for Justin Lee and the Mustangs. Or was that a strike? Did not see the strike call. The hand by the umpire. It's 1 and 2 on the scoreboard, the count. As the pitch is in there for a call, that is strike 3, and Boyer is down looking. So there are 2 outs in the inning and a big strikeout for Justin Lee. That is his 5th strikeout of the game. Here's Kyle Channel. He has grounded out to second, and he has struck out. Lee comes set, delivers. Channel swings and fouls it off on the first base side. Then he started with a walk to Custer. Devin Heitman was then hit with a pitch. Then Custer was thrown out in a rundown between second and third. After a walk to Steinbrook, Nick Miller reached on the air, and then the strikeout of Brandon Boyer. So no hits in this inning, but Mountain View has the bases loaded and 2 outs. Trailing the Mustangs 3-1. Bottom of the 5th. The 0-1 taken low. Mustangs in the 6th inning will have their 3, 4, 5 hitters due up. Runners lead from every base. Heitman from third, Steinbrook from second, Miller from first. The pitch, swung on a ground ball to his left. Reuter fields cleanly, and he tags the runner running by, Thomas Steinbrook, to end the inning. In the inning, no runs. There were no hits. There was 1 error, and Mountain View leaves them loaded. We head to the 6th. Fort Morgan 3, Mountain View 1. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106. Fort Morgan with 3 runs on 6 hits and 1 error. Mountain View, 1 run on 2 hits and 1 error. At the end of 5 innings of play, 2 up for the Mustangs in the 6th. Bobby Williamson, Dane Underwood, and Alex Meese. 3, 4, 5 hitters in the Fort Morgan lineup. Bank of Colorado features online banking. You can do it from the comfort of your home or office computer. Need a loan? See the folks at Bank of Colorado, serving you today and the future. Bobby Williamson has struck out, and he's reached on the air. First pitch from Nieper is taken outside, ball 1. Nieper trailing this game, however, he has thrown less pitches than his counterpart, Justin Lee. He's thrown 77 today. Lee has thrown 94, the 1-0. Taken high and away. Justin Lee had to throw 27 pitches in that 5th inning. Had to work out of a couple of walks, hit batsman, and an error in that inning. The 2-0 to Williamson. Taken low, 3-0. Derek Nieper has walked just 2 today. He hasn't walked anybody since the 3rd, but he's behind Williamson, 3-0. Williamson taking all the way, takes a strike. Mustangs obviously would love to come up with some insurance. They have had leads in each of their last 4 games and have not been able to hold them. The 3-1. Taken outside, ball 4. Williamson has a walk to lead off the 6th. That's just the 2nd time today the Mustangs have had the leadoff batter aboard. So here is Dane Underwood. Underwood has grounded out to short, and he has singled to center. Derek Nieper. Once then he comes set. He likes to throw to first. See if he throws here. He doesn't. The pitch is in the dirt. Good block again by Steinbrook. Steinbrook really tough behind home plate. We said it before, but he has been called upon time and time again to block pitches in the dirt, and he's only let 1 get through him today. Underwood stands close to the plate, awaits the 1-0, and he takes it up and in. So Nieper struggling to throw strikes here in the 6th. 6 of his 7 pitches have been outside the strike zone. Williamson, the short lead over at first. Pickoff throw over there, and he's back safely. Williamson doesn't even really have to jump back to first. He just has to fall over to get back to first base. His lead's so short over there. 2-0 on Underwood. Here it comes. And it's swung on and missed. Underwood sitting fastball there. Could not catch up to the high heat from Nieper. Fort Morgan leading 3-1 in the top of the 6th. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and popped up. Foul ground, first base side. And it's going to be Miller, the first baseman, who makes the catch. He called off his pitcher, Nieper. And there is 1 gone in the 6th. Underwood retired on the foul out. Alex Meese is now the batter. Meese has walked, and his last time up, he delivered a single to right field. That was part of the Mustangs' 3-run fourth. Williamson again leads off from first. Here's the pitch, and Meese takes high. Oscar Valdez having to be taken out of this game. He's the one that has the big hit, the 2-run double to left field. On that double, he pulled up lane with a hamstring injury. As the 1-0 to Meese is swung on and fouled back. That's going to get out of play. So Valdez is not on deck right now. Instead, it's Matthew Girk. Taylor Reuter, the one playing Valdez's old position at third. Girk, the one inserted in the lineup, playing in the outfield. 1 ball and 1 strike on Meese. 1 out and 1 on. The pitch is taken for a strike over the outside corner. Williamson walked the lead off this inning, then Underwood fouled out. 1 and 2 on Meese. Looking in is Nieper. And he comes set. And the 1-2 pitch, taken to the dirt. Fort Morgan trailed through 3 innings of this game until that 4th inning. They've had to work out of jams each of the last 2 innings to maintain this lead. The 2-2 in the dirt again, and there is Steinbrook again, keeping it in front of him. 3 and 2 on Meese. Williamson, the short lead over at first. The 3-2 count, still very little chance that he'd run over there as there's another pickoff throw to first. Coming set once again, Nieper. Here is his payoff pitch, and he swings and misses through the fastball. He strikes out. 2nd out of the inning. That is the 6th strikeout for Derek Nieper. And here is Matthew Girk. Girk has had only 1 at-bat this season. He struck out in that only at-bat. He's a left-handed hitter. Nieper comes set. And the pitch to Girk is taken low. Girk in the spot that was occupied previously by Oscar Valdez. Valdez was 1 for 2. Nieper comes on with a 1-0, and Girk takes high. Mountain View in the 6th inning. The bottom half of this inning will have their 6th, 7th, and 8th batters due up. Mustangs leading 3-1 in the top of the 6th. 2 balls and no strikes on Girk. 2 outs and a runner on first. The pitch. Girk takes a called strike over the inside corner. Brandon Flug is on deck in case Girk can get aboard. Looking over is Nieper. Here's his 2-1. Swung on and missed with a fastball by Girk. It's 2-2. Kevin Little, Logan Moore, Ben Netzel, the scheduled batters for Mountain View in the bottom half of this inning. Nieper trying to keep it a 2-run game. The 2-2 pitch taken outside. Count now full on Girk. Girk looks down to Josh Langford at third for a moment. Now the left-handed hitter back in. We'll see Williamson take off from first, but not before Nieper throws a pickoff throw over there, and Williamson again back in plenty of time. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nieper sets. And the pitch taken outside, ball 4. Did not miss by much, but Girk is aboard on the walk. Not sure why, but Williamson was not taking off from first there. He should have been running with the count 3-2 and 2 outs, and that's what Josh Langford is telling him right now. 3-2, 2-out situation. You're always taking off if you're in a force play situation. So Josh Langford telling that to Wilhelmsen. Matthew Girk draws the walk to keep this inning alive. Brandon Flug is now the batter. Flug has struck out. He delivered an RBI single to left field his first time up, singling just inside the third baseline. The pitch. Taken low. On that play, Flug was thrown out trying to stretch it to a double. He was thrown out at second base. On a good play made by the shortstop, Kevin Little. 2 on and 2 out in a 2-run game. The 1-0. In the dirt, that bounces off of Steinbrook, and it goes to the backstop, and the runners are going to move up. Wilhelmsen now at third. Girk is at second. Second wild pitch of the day by Derek Nieper. Now a base hit by Flug could plate 2. Got 7 RBIs this year, including 1 today. The 2-0. Swung on and hitting over towards shortstop. Charging is Little. He's going to have to throw on the run. His throw is in time, they say. Out at first is Flug on a bang play. The inning is over. Josh Langford can't believe it. A very close play at first, and Flug and the Mustangs are done in the 6th. No runs, no hits. They leave him at second and third. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Fort Morgan 3, Mountain View 1. This is Mustang Baseball. You're listening to B106 and B106.com. Morgan Medical Equipment and Supply takes care of all your sports medicine needs. They also offer back braces, walkers, canes, medical alert bracelets, some oxygen equipment, and much more at Morgan Medical, 201 Main Street in Fort Morgan. An insurance connection. Whether it's health, life, or dental insurance, or Medicare supplements, see Sharon Kaufman at Insurance Connection. And Central Auto Parts for all of your auto supply needs. Stop by Central Auto Parts at West Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. It's 3-1 Mustangs going to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Due up for Mountain View, Kevin Little, Logan Moore, and Ben Netzel. The 6, 7, 8 hitters in the Mountain View lineup hitting against Fort Morgan starter Justin Lee. Lee's first pitch of the inning is bunted out down the third base side. Charging is Reuter. Here's his throw to first, and it is in time. Out at first base is Kevin Little. Reuter had to come in a long ways from third to make that play. And remember, he is normally a left fielder for Fort Morgan, and he made a real nice play. Good throw over to first. He's playing third because of the injury to Oscar Valdez. So 1 out in the 6th, and the batter now is Logan Moore. The first pitch to Moore. Swung on, popped up, foul ground left side. A long run for everybody involved, and it's going to bounce in foul territory. Matthew Girk playing way over towards left center. He had what seemed to be a mile to run for that ball. Reuter a long ways to run as well. So it's 0-1 on Moore, who has grounded out to short, and he has walked. For Morgan with 3 runs on 6 hits and 1 error. Mountain View 1 run on 2 hits and 1 error. Mountain Lions do not have a base hit since the first inning. Justin Lee delivers the 0-1, taken down and in. Lee has thrown 97 pitches. His counterpart, Nieper, has thrown 100. So 1-1. Bunted at, but missed for a strike. It looked like Moore was going to pull it back, thinking it was outside the strike zone, but ruled a strike. It's 1-2. Lee looking in for the sign from Flug. The right-hander from his windup delivers the 1-2 pitch off speed. Swinging bunt by Justin Lee. Tough play for Reuter to his left. His throw is in time. Out at first base is 4. Another good play by Reuter. He had to go a long ways to his left to field that slow roller that just got by Lee at the mound. And Reuter, stepping in front of Pape, was able to make the play, because if Pape picked that up, even as strong of an arm as the shortstop has, I don't think he would have been able to make it. So there are 2 outs in the inning, and here is Ben Netzel. He's 0 for 2. And the first pitch to him is swung on and fouled back. How about Taylor Reuter? Remember, he made that play at the end of the 5th inning as well. So he's getting plenty of chances since coming into the game for Oscar Valdez. The pitch to Netzel is taken outside. Netzel ground out to second, and his last time up, he fouled out to right field on an excellent sliding play by Alex Neese. 2 outs and nobody on. The 1-1 pitch. Off-speed pitch and way out in front, swinging and missing is Netzel. It's 1-2. Mountain View has been retired in order once today. Lee trying to do it here in the 6th. Gets this 9 from Flug, working quickly. His 1-2 pitch, swung on and skied in the air out towards center field. Soto over to his left, makes the catch. The inning is over. Mountain View down in order in the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We head to the 7th. It's still 3-1 Fort Morgan. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106. On to the 7th inning with Fort Morgan leading Mountain View by a score of 3-1. Still just overcast weather in Loveland. No rain, no snow. And a new pitcher for the Mountain Lions, Nick Miller. The left-hander takes over for Derek Nieper. Nieper pitching 6 innings. He allowed 6 Fort Morgan base hits. All 3 of the Fort Morgan runs were earned, and they were scored in the 4th inning. And so he is taken out of the game, and Miller takes over. Miller called upon to pitch this 7th inning, and he'll be facing Garrett Pape, Taylor Reuter, and Sam Soto. The 8, 9, and 1 spots in the Fort Morgan batting order. Premier Farm Credit's committed to serving those in production ag. Premier Farm Credit is the gold standard in ag lending. And Fire Lanes for great family entertainment. Be sure to check out Fire Lanes. They're at 220 Cambridge and Brush. Walk in or reserve your time at Fire Lanes today. And West Tech Rentals, whether you're a contractor or homeowner, West Tech Rentals, your source for rental equipment and landscaping materials. A very well-played ball game today. Certainly not ideal weather. It's cold. The wind has been blowing from right to left field nearly the entire game. But fortunately, no rain or snow. No snow like you've had in Fort Morgan over the last 3 hours or so. Garrett Pape singled his last time up. He has also walked. Those at bats, of course, against Nieper. Now he faces the left-hander and Miller. And the first pitch from Miller is in there for a strike over the outside corner. Good fastball. Playing Miller's old position over at first base, Brandon Boyer. The 0-1 to Pape. And that's taken for a called strike 2. Quickly 0-2 on the Fort Morgan freshman. Nieper threw 100 pitches in his 6 innings of work. Justin Lee for the Mustangs has thrown 103 pitches today as the pitch is taken high. And you know Lee is going to be out there for the Mustangs in the bottom half of this 7th inning. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Garrett Pape. From the windup, Miller delivers, and Pape takes just a bit outside. Morgan trying to get something going here in the 7th. They've stranded some base runners the last couple innings. The 2-2 taken high. The Mustangs in the 5th had a runner at 3rd and 1 out, could not score. And they had runners at 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs last inning and could not score. The count full on Garrett Pape leading off the 7th. The pitch taken for a call, strike 3 over the outside corner, and Pape is down on strikes. So there's 1 gone for Taylor Reuter. Reuter has flied out to left, and he laid down a sacrifice his last time up. Going the box score, not a real impressive game for Reuter, but it has been a very good game for Reuter as the pitch by Miller is taken high and away. It has been a good game because that he laid down that sacrifice on his last time, but also because Reuter's been called upon to make 3 plays in the field at third base where he has not played this year as the pitch is swung on and fouled off the umpire. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on in the top of the 7th inning. Fort Morgan has lost 8 in a row. Mountain View has lost 3 in a row. And the pitch to Reuter. Taken high. Off-speed offering from Miller. After Reuter, I'll turn it back over to the top of the Mustang lineup. Sam Soto's had a rough day at the plate. He's waiting on deck. The 2-1 pitch. Taken down and away. It's another 3-ball count to a Fort Morgan hitter. Nick Miller continuing to work quickly. Here's the 3-1. Taken high, ball 4. That is the 5th time Fort Morgan hitter has drawn a walk today. Thomas Steinbrook, the Mountain Lion catcher, goes out to have a quick word with Nick Miller. Miller, being a left-hander, and be able to keep an eye on Reuter over at first base. Sam Soto's the batter. Soto has 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. He's happy to see Nieper out of the game. The pitch, swung on and fouled back by Sam Soto. Mountain View in the bottom half of the 7th inning will have their 9, 1, and 2 batters due up. Custer, Heitman, and Steinbrook. So it's not going to be easy for Lee when we go to the bottom of this thing. If anybody gets on, Miller will get a chance to hit. The 0-1, taken high. Scott Soto on deck. Mustangs have had base runners in every inning today. Looking in. Nieper. And now he throws over to first, and back diving in is Taylor Reuter. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 out. A 3-1 Fort Morgan lead. Miller throws over to first, and they've got Reuter picked off. Here's a throw down to second, and he is safe at second. He went in standing up, and they're going to say the shortstop, Little, did not tag him. Reuter kind of took a step off of second base as if he might have thought he was out. And he just went back to second after he was ruled safe. Reuter did not even go in on a slide. Just went in standing up. So he and the Mustangs catch a break. He was picked off there. He's now in scoring position with 1 out. A ball and a strike still on Soto. Here it comes. That is high. Mustangs have stranded 4 base runners today. They stranded 13 in the loss to Frederick on Tuesday. The 2-1. Soto swings and misses out in front of the off-speed pitch. That evens up the count. Morgan really would like to get an insurance run here in the top half of the 7th inning. Again, Reuter off of second. Here's the 2-2. Taken high and away. So Miller has faced 3 Fort Morgan hitters this inning, and he's gone to a 3-ball count with each of them. Reuter again steps off second. Sam Soto awaits. Payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. 2 outs in the inning, both strikeouts. 3rd time today, Sam Soto strikes out. And here is Scott Soto. Scott Soto is 1 for 3. He's got an infield single. He's also grounded out to second and grounded out to third. Reuter should be running on contact from second base. Miller delivers. And Scott Soto swings and misses. Nick Miller got very good off-speed stuff, and he's keeping the Sotos off balance. 0-1. Here is his pitch. It's taken high. Mustangs scheduled to play each of these next 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Saturday. They're supposed to play at Longmont tomorrow. Again, that's if the weather allows for it. They have a home game against Berthoud on Saturday afternoon. So 1-1. The runner is going from second, swing and a miss. Here's a throw down to third, and safe. Stealing third is Taylor Reuter. So Reuter now 90 feet away. That's significant in case there's a wild pitch. But it's a ball and 2 strikes on Scott Soto. 2 outs, the runner at third. Still a 3-1 Fort Morgan lead. The 1-2 pitch, taken high. It'll be Custer, Heitman, and Steinbrook for Mountain View in the bottom of the 7th inning. And now they got Reuter picked off. Running him back over towards third is the pitcher Miller. Now the third baseman runs him back, and the catcher Steinbrook missed the tag, and Reuter slides in safely. Oh, what a play! Reuter ducked out of a tag between third and home. Steinbrook missed the tag. He swept his arm and missed him, and Reuter then slid into home plate safely. A wild rundown. It's the second time that Reuter has ran out of a rundown on the base pass. Miller had him picked off, and he just started running him back towards third. He threw to Channel at third, and when Channel threw to Steinbrook, Steinbrook just missed the tag. Reuter ducked out of the way. And then he was able to slide in safely, and Fort Morgan gets their 4th run of the game. It's now 4-1. A wild, wild play. We'll see if that run turns out to be significant in the bottom half of this inning. Right now, Steinbrook is talking to Miller on the mound. Mustangs have not made contact with Miller in this inning, but they have a run home. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Soto with 2 outs and nobody on. Here is the 2-2. And it's swung on a miss. Strike 3. The inning is over. No run, or 1 run on no hits. There was nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The Mustangs now have a 4-1 lead. You're listening to Fort Morgan Baseball on B106. Zach Custer leads off the 7th inning for Mountain View, and he takes down and away ball 1 against Fort Morgan right-hander Justin Lee. Lee working on a 2-hitter. The Mustangs leading 4-1 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Custer has walked twice today, and he takes one down the middle for a strike. Mustangs trying to stop an 8-game losing streak. To this point, they've played an excellent game, the 1-1 to Custer, and that is taken low. I mentioned Custer has walked twice today. It's the last thing Lee wants to do, leading off the 7th. The right-hander working quickly, the 2-1, very high. It's 3-1. Mountain View does not have a base hit since the 1st inning. Brandon Boyer had a single that at the time gave Mountain View a 1-0 lead. It's now 4-1 Fort Morgan. The 3-1 pitch taken for a strike at the knees. It's Custer, Devin Heitman, and Thomas Steinbrook for Mountain View in the 7th. The count full on the DH Custer. Lee delivers the payoff pitch, and it's swung on and popped up. Behind first base, the second baseman Soto over towards the line. He'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. Easier play there for the second baseman Soto than the first baseman Williamson. The Soto was coming in more, whereas Williamson had the back pedal. That's why Soto's the one making the catch, even though that was closer to where Williamson was standing. So there's 1 out. And Justin Lee, continuing to pitch well, he has retired 6 in a row. Devin Heitman is the batter. A right-hander delivers, and that is right above the belt for a strike. Heitman has singled, he has struck out, and he's been hit with a pitch. Justin Lee from his windup delivers the 0-1, and that's in the dirt. Lee has now thrown 111 pitches today, looking for the complete game victory. Here is his 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball, grounded up the middle, and that is going to be in the center field for a base hit. Pape could not get to it. A single to center for Heitman, and that's Mountain View's first hit since the first inning. They have 3 hits in the game, and Heitman's got 2 of them. So 1 on and 1 out for Thomas Steinbrook. Mountain View a base runner away from bringing the tying run to the plate. Steinbrook has struck out. He's flied out to shallow right, and he has walked. Pickoff throw over to first, and Heitman backs safely. Lee comes set. He delivers. And that is taken low. That single also by Heitman stops the string of 6 in a row retired by Lee. So it's 1-0. The pitch. Swung on a grounded ball up the middle again, past the diving Pape and into center field. Heitman goes up to second and stops there, and now the tying run will be coming to the plate. Back-to-back singles to center field from Heitman and Steinbrook. Tenuous times for Fort Morgan. They've led this game since the 4th inning when they scored 3 times. They now lead it 4-1. In the bottom of the 7th, 2 on and 1 out for Mountain View's power hitter, Nick Miller. And he swings and misses for a strike. Miller, the leading RBI man for Mountain View this year. He is 0 for 3. Reached out to air his last time up. Lee looks in for the sign from Fluke. The right-hander comes set at the letters. And he delivers the 0-1 and is taken high. Heitman at second, Steinbrook at first. Lee trying to work out of trouble. Mountain View has stranded 7 runners today. So 1-1. Off-speed pitch and way out in front is Miller for strike 2. Miller steps out of the box for a moment. A little frustrated with that last swing. Now he's back in there. Lee again comes set. Here's his 1-2. Taken for a call, strike 3, and that's the second out of the inning. So often today, Justin Lee has kept Mountain View hitters off balance. That's his 6th strikeout, and 4 of them have been looking. So here is Brandon Boyer, who struck out looking his last time up. The first pitch, taken outside. Boyer is 1 for 3. He's driven in Mountain View's only run. Runners lead from first and second. 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th inning, Fort Morgan leading 4-1. So 1-0. Taken low. Remember Boyer, earlier at bat, crushed one down the left field side, but foul. He's their cleanup batter, obviously home run power. He's the potential tying run. He's got a 2-0 count in his favor. Lee delivers. Taken for a strike. Good pitch by Lee over the outside corner. Heitman at second, Steinbrook at first. Lee set. Here's his 2-1. Taken upstairs. Kyle Channel is on deck. Walk Boyer, you put the tying run on base. Lee looks in. Here's his 3-1. Off-speed pitch. Swung on and hit pretty well deep out towards left field. But there's room. Under its girth, he makes the catch, and the Mustangs win it. Their 8-game losing streak is over. And they win for the first time in 34 days as they beat Mountain View by a final score of 4-1. In the inning, no runs, a couple of hits, 2 runners left. We'll bring it back for the High Plains Bank postgame show after this. You're listening to Fort Morgan Baseball on B106 and B106.com. Pat O'Rourke back in Mountain View for the High Plains Bank postgame show. Hometown service on a higher plane. That's High Plains Bank, no matter what your loan needs. 502 Central Avenue in Wiggins. Mustangs stopped their 8-game losing streak. They beat Mountain View by a final score of 4-1. The totals, Fort Morgan with 4 runs on 6 hits. They had 1 error. They left 4 on base. Mountain View 1 run on 4 hits. They had 1 error, and they stranded 9. The winning pitcher, Justin Lee, an outstanding performance. He improves to 2-2. He went the distance, going 7 innings, throwing 123 pitches. He allowed 4 base hits, 4 walks. He struck out 6. 1 run. That run was earned. he did hit a couple of batters. As for the loss, it goes to Derek Nieper. He went 6 innings, allowing 3 runs. His record falls to 3-3. Offensively for the Mustangs, Oscar Valdez, even though he had to come out of the game after 4 innings, he did have the big hit in this game, a 2-run double to left field that put the Mustangs in front 2-1 in the 4th inning during their 3-run 4th inning. Brandon Flug also had an RBI hit, and Taylor Reuter manufactured a run on his own in the 7th inning. Even though he got in a couple of rundowns, he was able to avoid tags on each of those rundowns and came around to score an insurance run in the 7th. Reuter also did a good job in the field replacing Oscar Valdez after he was taken out of the game because of a bad hamstring. The Mustangs, with the win, are now 3-8 on the year, and they are 1-6 in conference play. Mountain View falls to 5-6, and they're now 3-4 in league play. The Mustangs' next scheduled game is tomorrow at Longmont. Weather permitting, we'll have it for you at 4 o'clock right here on B106 and on B106.com. Thanks to the sound engineer back at the studio, Cassie Watson. I'm Pat O'Rourke signing off from Mountain View, where the Mustangs stopped their 8-game losing streak and win by a final score of 4-1. You've been listening to Mustang Baseball on B106 and on the World Wide Web at B106.com. Have a good night, everyone.